Welcome to Bring It to the Runway for Season 15, Episode 11. Category is Rip Her to Shreds. My name is Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by two fabulous co-hosts. First, somewhere between Hollywood and West Hollywood, we have the one, the only, the Tiki Room, Mr. Roberto Mata.
Speaking of rip her to shreds, my lips are chapped, yo.
Oh, yeah. And I always want to do that thing where you pick at it and then it makes a cut.
And then you have blood and then...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the rain. They make me so dry. But anyway, hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm well, and I want everyone to know, anyone who's thirsty for Robert Mata should blame Christian Ochoa because he was wearing almost nothing on top.
I'm still wearing
Christian made him put on a... Oh, yeah. Christian made him put on a shirt. And,
I was just requesting something to be done for that mop.
Coming to us from the 626, Christian Ochoa.
Hello, everyone. Just here kikiing with Biden in Monterey Park today.
Oh, that's right.
Some dim sum.
Monterey Park is right next to Christian, and Joe Biden is there today. Christian was over there looking for Hunter Biden. He wants to give a little bit of secret head. Are you into Hunter Biden, Christian? What's your story there?
No.
Do you know who Hunter Biden is, Christian?
Yes.
Who is he?
A political figure? Just kidding. Isn't it his son? I'm joking. It's his son, right?
Yeah, but why would the average political person, political junkie know who? Why would they care about Hunter Biden?
I know that there was some drama there.
Mm-hmm. Christian's photos are on his laptop.
Supposedly, have his dick pics been leaked? Does he have a nice dick? I don't even know.
I don't know. You have to check the RuPaul Gone Wild subreddit.
What's your favorite RuPaul Gone Wild subreddit photo you've ever seen on there?
Probably none of them. None of them do anything for me.
Wait, what is this Reddit thread?
Why have I even ever been in that dark corner of the internet? I guess because I'm more...
Describe the corner. What is it?
It's basically like whenever there's dirty pics leaked or released of Drag Race contestants or Drag Race adjacent people.
Like if you ever wanted to see Gothy Kendall's baseball bat, you go there.
Gothy Kendall has a fucking baby's arm holding an orange. As does Aja.
I've seen those on Twitter.
Naomi Smalls. We have our, a bunch of people. Then there's a lot of like the thirsty ones. Like you'll see like a Coco Jumbo, and you're like, I don't know why I'm seeing it. Or like Bob's old assistant. Like it'll be anybody's in the world of RuPaul's. But you know what, guys? We're gonna go through all the looks today. I should have put them in order like I usually do, of their ranking, but today I actually did it in the order they were there. There's only 6. Let's just do it in the order they came out.
There's only 6?
7. I'm sorry, 7. Okay, so let's start here. Let's see here. We're going to start with the very first one out. It was Marsha. Christian, you are our describer. And even though, by the way, did you see? I'm so excited for this. So ChatGPT just released their version 4. They haven't released this part to the public yet because they're trying to figure out what fucked up shit people can do with it. But it's able now to analyze images and describe what's in the image in detail. So pretty soon, I won't even need Christian anymore. It'll just
Christian's job got automated.
Yeah.
I doubt it'll do it accurately.
It's been doing some very
fashion and art are very nuanced, and I'm not impressed by AI.
All right. Christian, why don't you describe what Marsha's wearing?
So the category is Rip Her to Shreds, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what Joe was trying to do to me over the weekend.
Oh, just wait. Just wait until we talk about yesterday's phone call after
It's not drama corner yet.
Robert, did I now ask if you could be impartial?
I've heard a little bit of the prologue, and I can't wait to give my objective legal opinion.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, Christian. So the whores are talking about me behind my back. Okay.
Show up on time.
Anyways, all right. Marcia. Long gone, our little New York musical gal. She's wearing a Miss NYC
How's it long gone? She's the latest one to leave.
It's
I know,
like
that's what
2
I'm
days.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Long gone, girl. Bye. So she has on this big, disheveled, like, copper tone wig, which is probably the best part of the look. This is the most makeup she's worn on the runway. She has on, like, the running mascara down her face. And she has a fucked up bouquet of red roses. She supposedly won Miss New York, and she's kind of wearing, like, the Statue of Liberty, like a shade off of the Statue of Liberty in this, like, chiffon.
Speaking of shade off,
dress.
Stick around for after the break. Christian and I are going to go at it. Sorry, go ahead.
Duke it out, for real.
We're going to have a shade off.
So, yeah, I mean, like this has been done, right? I got more like runner-up vibes or Carrie vibes, if anything. The concept wasn't that clear to me. And I just don't know why you would want to wear this and present yourself this way, you know?
Okay, Robert?
Yeah, it's. I've started to try to consider looks on a CUNT scale, and this is a 1 out of 10 on uniqueness at this point. Also, a little nerve, not much talent went into it, and Marsha sort of lacks charisma, so I'm coming up on 1s across the board right now. It's just not it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's very much like a thrifted gown, and she just took some scissors to it and was like, well, I made everything, and it's like, and it shows, you know? But this does bring up a good point that I wanted to discuss.
Sure.
How do you guys feel? You know, we've heard, these contestants' packages are becoming crazy, right? There's been articles written about how much money these participants spend to be a part of this contest, right? And essentially, they're now pride floats. I mean, they're like, you know, these art installations walking down the runway for these designers. And it's like, well, is it really their vision? Yes, they're working with the designer and collaborating on concepts. But, like, how much is it really them? So, I mean, but then this is what we get, right? This is what we get if it's not putting more money and effort into your package, then this is the result, right? This is DIY drag. So it's like, what do we really want as consumers? Because we say we like this thing, and then we say we don't like it. What do you guys think of that?
Robert, what are your thoughts? Why don't you go first?
Of all the queens left, maybe except for Sasha, I don't believe that. Like, I'm not going to believe some kind of socio-economical, like, discourse about Marsha of everyone left. Like, she's not the one who's disadvantaged. She's not the one who embodies DIY drag. She's from New York City. She has access to all the top, you know, drag designers that there could be. She's clearly has a network of queens who could have elevated her runway looks higher if that was her aesthetic. I would say there's more conversation to be had about subtle drag versus extravagant drag than finances.
So this is subtle drag. Because to me, this reminds me more season 2 vibes. It does remind me of early season drag. It does not remind me of, like, you know, what we've seen in the most recent seasons.
To be honest, this gives me Child of Drag Race drag, which is just a very cyclical sort of same references, same idea, which was, you know, very clear throughout the episode. A lot of the jokes were the same drag jokes that we've heard on the show before, a lot of the same comments. All I'm getting from it is sort of a, how the fuck do you pronounce Ouroboros, whatever, of the snake eating itself of drag here.
Ouroboros. Oh, wait. Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. I made it a pun. It's about RuPaul.
Okay. Ouroboros. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right, very good. All right, let's move on to the next contestant. We have here Lucy Laduca. Once again, Christian, why don't you go ahead and tell us what she's wearing? I'm sorry.
Shredder? I hardly even know her. Girl, how tired were you guys of all... Girl, I just kept thinking of Joe and Robert. I was like, their panties are in a bunch. Okay.
I just don't hear... I just don't... It's just... The runway jokes, with the exception of a what the fuck did you just call me? I just ignore them. They're stupid.
Right. I know. The only ones I like are what did you just call me? And I think I went to high school with her. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, that was okay, too. Yeah.
Okay, so Lucy Laduca is wearing this Nosferatu early Dracula kind of concept, right, Joe? What's it called? Who's the director or who was the filmmaker? What were they referenced him?
Of this one? I wouldn't say this is
Michelle Visage.
Oh, did she?
Broker?
Al Roker?
Al Roker from the Today Show?
From the Proud Family.
No, I don't remember. Anyways, so Lucy Laduca has on this like exposed corset in ivory over like a time period lace gown. You know, it does look cobwebby. It does look old. I think the shoes complement this. The opaque tights complement it. It does make the rest of her body look very ghostly. I like the gloves. It adds a nice detail. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, hate the wig, hate the makeup. I don't know. I thought this was not bad. Gave me a Dracula vibe. I thought this was good. I really liked the look. I thought it was one of the best. What did you guys think?
I think if she came out with this makeup on Dragula, she'd get gobbled alive and exterminated that week. It's not that I don't think it's a bad look, and it was a bit of a jump scare in last week's preview. But having the Nosferatu reference cleared up obviously makes it make much more conceptual sense. I don't love the wig on its own because it sends me back to what are those three witches called? The one that every gay does for Halloween. Yeah, Hocus Pocus ass bitches. I don't want to see no bucktooth ginger hair up bitch left and right all the time. Enough of that. But that's not against Lucy's look specifically. I actually think that this is probably one of the better looks this
And you know,
week.
what I liked about it also is that even though it is ripper to shreds, it still has a sense of polish, you know, even though it's distressed and it looks old and tattered. It still looks polished and elevated, which is what I really appreciated about it. Yeah, I'm into it. I liked it.
I just don't understand why she has gray facial paint on, but
that's
skin
true.
colored tights.
It seems to be just like a general horror pastiche because the hands are very Nosferatu. The dress is very like Dracula's Bride, but the hair is very bright as Frankenstein, and I don't know what that. It just seems to be like we are a horror movie come to life.
The face is a little random, you're right, and maybe it would have been more effective if she would have done her typical paint, maybe from like the nose down, and she just did these eyes, you know, and the contacts. You're right, maybe that would have been more effective. But that being said, I mean, at least she took a risk, you know?
It's
appreciate it.
Meet at Robert's apartment and let's walk over to Santa Monica Boulevard for the Halloween event.
Which doesn't happen anymore.
Girl, you know what this looks like? This looks like my white sneakers that I bled through the first time we ever did drag, and I had a switch, and we were sitting outside on the corner in the rain,
when we were bleeding on the street.
Bleeding out of our fucking shoes because we wore heels that were too fucking small for us. And this looks like my blood-stained fucking white Balenciaga Speedrunner, literally.
All right, next, here we go. We have Lux Noir London. Go ahead, Christian.
Miss Wee Wee Pole wearing this like warrior mohawk headpiece, which to me was like my favorite part. She has on like a war paint motif on her face and what looks like a bunch of toilet paper and like these. It's just fringed with white strips of muslin, maybe, as like a cropped jacket with these shoulder pad details and the fringe coming down from them. And then these striped high-waisted panties, thigh-high leg warmers, and red peep-toe pump, striped gauntlet gloves. Yeah, a RuPaul reference from the 80s. I did not like it. I mean, honestly, from the neck down, I did not like it. If you just look at the pieces and you're judging them alone, they're not really anything great. Yeah, I didn't really care for this. I wasn't gagging like everybody else.
Robert?
Well, I love that it joins the litany of Lux reference looks. She just has so many of them. She's a Ouroboros on her own.
But there's
RuPaul
referencing
references.
and then there's duplicating.
And this is a reference, not an actual replication. So props to that, I suppose. I hope Lux comes out as Joe next week. Deadass. That was
Joe Betance?
Who else? Joe
My
Biden?
favorite Drag Race recap pod show is host is Joe Betance, and
And then she just comes out in a black t-shirt and jeans. Let me tell you
It'd be
this.
fierce.
Let me tell you this. I had a whole speech about Lux, we can't get into it because we're running out of time. Because Christian's doing a whole dissertation on each look. But essentially, it's a conversation for another time. Maybe it can be after the break, after Christian and I fight. But that Lux is... I know you could go back to Aquaria, you can go back to the other people, but like she's almost like if Drag Race were a contestant, it's Lux. She's so self-referential in everything she says and everything she wears that she's the show personified. She's just now it's come full circle where she's just the show, where she's even coming out referencing RuPaul. She says all the right things, does all the right things. She Jeremy from the Discord posted that I didn't know this, that she's the first queen. I think she actually beat Bianca Del Rio. She's gone more episodes without being lower than safe.
I love Lux. She deserves it. Bad bitch. Did she do awful
Lux
in the comedy challenge? Yeah. But so did everyone else. Except Selena, so.
And that's the thing, though. I do love Lux, and I have a lot of belief in her, but that's exactly where my disappointment comes from with her just duplicating. You know, I love a reference, but make it yours, you know? So, and then the makeup, when it was up close, I did not love the war paint streaks. They didn't look good.
All right.
I love that, just briefly, that it very clearly the judge, like it's always obvious when the judges are given briefs on what the looks are going to be or what references or puns to make on the runway. But there is no fucking way Ali Wong knew this Wee Wee Pole reference for RuPaul, like to say on the stage.
It seemed maybe they talked about it for sure. Yeah, that would be a really random one. But she is a big fan. But yeah, that you have to be really, really big fan.
That's deep in the archives of RuPaulism.
Yeah. All right, very good. Next, we have Sasha Colby. Christian, go.
Now, this is how you recreate a reference, right? So Sasha Colby has on this denim patchwork headscarf, this coily red mane going down her back, and a bunch of just shredded up patchwork denim with stoned fringe. And she just looks exceptional. Her eye makeup was even in like the colors of the denim patchwork, beautiful gradient tint. I mean, she paints beautifully. This is just 10 out of 10. Loved this look. And I love that she's not selling us a character or anything. She's just working it, walking, looking great. Stunning. Love it.
All right. Very good. Robert, what do you think here?
Yeah, I loved it. I love this silly little era of pop culture. I also thought perhaps, did Kylie, her roommate, not literally wear this look on All-Star 6? I mean, shredded denim, there's not too much you can do with shredded denim.
Kylie Sonique Love is Sasha's roommate?
Yeah, she mentioned it in All-Star 6.
They used to be.
I don't know if they still
currently aren't. But
yeah, I'm not their landlord or nothing.
I think they were,
once
definitely.
upon a time. A lot of beauty in one apartment. But even
girl, all the dolls live in the same building in downtown LA now.
Why
including
do you know that?
Kylie. Carrie lives in that building. Cornbread lives in that building. Kylie lives in that building. They all talk about it.
Whatever happened to preserving people's locations and not doxing them?
Girl, they talk about it freely on multiple podcasts. That's how I know.
What are they doing downtown?
They said they're over WeHo.
Who isn't? Anyways, great look.
You just fucking crossed the line with Robert. The fucking goddamn.
He said who isn't.
I know.
I'm gagged that Robert still lives in WeHo, to be honest. I think you're going to finally move away after your 10-year mark.
I love the accessibility.
To what? High tops? The accessibility of high tops and a subpar Chipotle on Sunset?
For people who don't live in Southern California or know about West Hollywood.
Give him the tea,
West
Joe.
Hollywood has no... if you're in West Hollywood, it's like an island. There's no highways next to it. To get to a freeway, you have to drive like 15, 20 minutes, and that's not even in traffic. Like, it is so inaccessible. What were you going to say, Robert?
My freeway's 5 minutes away.
You don't live in Hollywood. I mean, West Hollywood.
Any LA local will tell you that everything west of La Brea is West Hollywood.
I feel like Robert lives in WeHo. You're pretty fucking deep. Girl, I have to go all the way down fucking Franklin, past the fucking Hollywood Bowl for you.
I will, as a linchpin on that, I would much rather live around a bunch of annoying ass faggots than around a bunch of annoying ass kids. I don't want to hear crying. I don't want to hear families. I don't want to see strollers. No. West Hollywood has very little of that.
I don't see that, hear that.
Okay. Okay. So, Robert, did you give me all your thoughts on Sasha Colby?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
All right. Next, we have Anitra. Christian, go ahead.
Okay, she's, Piccolini pink, big on the runways, right?
All right.
Velvet asymmetrical single shoulder catsuit with a black velvet shredded asymmetrical catsuit over it with a random piece of fucking material jutting out of her waist. And these like little tendril chopstick motifs that were like dipped in paint and fucking glued a stone on top. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of this silhouette, and I'm kind of tired of the judges criticizing all the other girls, but then this bitch gets to basically wear the same thing in different materials, and she doesn't get a criticism. Like, I'm over the bodysuit, and now I'm also over the catsuit. I didn't really care for this. She looks fine. If she wore this to a club gig, work, she kind of looks like a little superhero. Love that for her. But other than that, it's like, on this stage, this isn't winter material. So,
Robert?
and neither was Lux's, which was also my issue.
Robert?
The look I thought was perfectly serviceable. I thought that the story that she attached to it about being a lotus needing to bloom in muddy water because of this like far-fetched sort of basic storyline about how you need to go through shit to come out on top, which is really just something that people who go through shit tell themselves to feel better about the fact that they've been going through shit, because you do not need to go through shit to come out on top. Everyone who comes out on top oftentimes just goes out on top. Have you ever thought about that? Regardless, I just didn't really totally capture the look nor its concept, that it sounded like she was reading from a piece of paper.
Just like you said, serviceable. Safe is not exceptional.
All right, very good. Next, we have, ever since Oramayari left, the cringe queen of season 15, Selena Estes. I'm going to tell you, just to get, so people, we're, showing the photos on YouTube. Just to get this shot was so hard because she was running around like a loca all over the stage. I don't know what immigrant she sees. What immigrant is running around like, I hate to, this is a visual thing, I'll have to cut it out of the podcast, but like this.
Bitch, are you giving me Selena's titties or are you giving me Lucy Laduca Nosferatu, bitch? I don't know, girl.
She was doing that Into the Heights type of immigration.
Yeah. Girl, no, this was her. Hold up, bitch. Hold on.
In the Heights is her musical. Uh-oh, here it comes. Okay. You didn't do an outfit change. Wow. yeah.
She was doing that thing that... What? No. Whenever you put your comforter around you and then you have to like run down the stairs.
Yes.
It's just a mess.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. As a son of immigrants, I didn't get it.
I was a little offended.
Have you seen that gif of the evil queen from Snow White running down the stairs? Yeah.
That's where I got that little joke.
Yeah.
From. I may have lifted it slightly.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I do feel for the doll. Her mom did just pass away of cancer 4 weeks ago, and the reference is beautiful. I did love the story that she was telling when she was explaining this look, but the execution truly just fell short, I think she's going for the Spanish novela type of vibe. That's what I'm kind of getting with the hair and the outfit. But it's exactly like what the judges said. It would have been more effective if she did like a serape gown, right? Or something like that. You don't have to be so literal and you don't have to be the character. You can take the inspiration and show it off in a beautiful garment, right? So that being said, she does always, I usually do love her hair, and her mug is always really pretty.
All right. Very good. All right, we're going to move on to the last queen. Here we go. We have
Miss Piggy.
Isabel Brooks.
Mistress Isabel Brooks, my favorite.
Once again, if you have any complaints, please write to the best of today at gmail.com.
You are never beating those fatphobic allegations, girl.
I know.
No, I really did think this was a Miss Piggy reference. fully when she came out, and then I realized, oh wait, okay, hold on, Material Girl, right? I liked it. I think she looks so good. I love it. I do wish the hem hit the floor on this piece. Other than that, I mean, I liked it.
Robert?
She is doing a reference to the Mugler collection of, the burnt rising from the ashes type of thing. I wish she had leaned a little bit farther into that storyline because...
Really? I didn't know.
She mentioned it, and then you could, you see all the singe marks and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that she could have gone a little bit farther with it because right now it looks more like moths got into her wardrobe and not burnt as much.
So would you prefer, like I mentioned, if it was just bigger, right? If the skirt hit the ground and there was that treatment throughout, maybe you can really see that the hemline was burnt off. That's really where you could see those burn details. That would have been fierce. Maybe even in the tulle a little bit.
Yeah, the tulle could have been a little bit more singed. Right now it just looks frayed. I think her makeup could have used a subtle scorch mark, a little bit on her hands as well. Just a little bit. Because otherwise she just looks like a glam person who put on, like I said, a moth-eaten dress.
Yeah, I could see that. Or if she came out with like a from the glove and it was like soot.
She looks good though.
Yeah.
Just usually I feel like, Christian, you talk about the aesthetics of the look and I talk about the concepts of the look more often than not. And this concept could have been taken just a tad bit farther.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note,
that being said,
yeah,
definitely top 3 for the looks for me.
I was going to ask you, Christian, what was your favorite look from this week?
Sasha Colby, hands down.
Robert?
Sasha, but had Lucy's makeup been better, I may have gone with that one.
Oh, interesting. And what would be your least favorite look, Christian?
Marsha's or Selena's.
What about you, Robert?
Marsha's, and I don't think she was deserving of a double Shantae.
Oh, you don't? Well, that's, we only have a couple minutes left. So here's what we're going to do, everybody, because we still have other topics to talk about and all that. So I'm going to end the show. If you join us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia, where I'll publish that extra content. But we're going to wrap it. We still have one more thing to talk about. But, yeah, so here's what I have on the list, and we'll talk about this very briefly, and we'll get out of here, and then Christian and I will fight on Patreon. But Mistress Isabel Brooks, I talked about this in the recap. The three of us are Mexican. Mistress Isabel Brooks is Mexican. She talked about her estrangement from her mom. Now, look, I'm sure there are stories we don't know, and there's a history of something. But did you agree with me that because the mom showed up to the hospital with her stuff and said, "What are you wearing?" and it seemed kind of harsh to stop talking to her for years? What do you think, Christian?
Honestly,
don't you think
no.
that just be Mexican moms?
Yeah, and that shit's fucking hard to hear. Like, honestly, it kind of reminded me of when my mom was kind of doing something similar to me when I had to get ready for my dad's funeral. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? Like, what I'm wearing is what matters to you right now? And I'm not going to lie, that shit, like, really fucked me up.
Do you see the irony?
I don't know. I'm kind of following what Christian's saying.
No. I'm following what Christian's saying, but Christian, who judges me very harshly, made Robert put on a different shirt. What are you wearing? He's like, my mom.
I am a Mexican mom. I say this all the time. I am the way that I am because I'm literally my mom.
Okay, but you still talk to your mother. Like, Mistress hasn't talked to her in years. Like I said, there are probably, and I'm sure, stories that we don't know about in the history. And I'm not saying, I'm just using this as a discussion point about just Mexican moms or maybe any kind of mom being really harsh. What do you think, Robert?
Yes, but then she took it further, with the stories that she's mentioned of how her family treated her. I'm sure that was just the cherry on top, right? So yeah. I can see it, and I would take that moment if I were her, and I would probably see it like, okay, girl, accept your fate. Like, this is what it is, and accept the fact that you got to make do with what you have, and you got to move on. And I respect her a lot for it, because there's a lot of grown women that I've met, or even gays, that haven't healed their mother wound yet, right? And you guys can go ahead and Google what that means, the mother wound. But it's definitely something.
I don't think we need to Google that.
Not you guys. I'm talking about the audience.
Oh,
so if they want to understand the context of what the mother wound is. But I would say that I've seen older gays and women that haven't made peace or accepted the fact that their parents don't want to be in their life, that have been in situations that are fucked up, and they're constantly trying to fix that wound, and it's just not going to happen, girl. Accept it. Like, your mom doesn't fuck with you. And I know that's hard, but, you know.
Okay, Robert, what about you? Really quickly, because you reveal, Christian is constantly talking about his family. You reveal nothing of your life. What do you think here? What's your relationship with this?
I think I'm coming from a place of privilege, because even though I have had issues with my parents about my queerness, when it came down to it, my parents are very good people, so they were able to put their own egos aside and work through those issues with me. But I have noticed a trend online, and this is maybe speaking to Mistress Isabel Brooks' experience a bit. I don't know, because like you said, in all fairness, she's the one who knows her relationship with her mother best. But especially in queer circles where we're maybe online a bit too much, because you create a second family, if you would, a chosen family, it seems like a bit of a trigger happiness to like cutting off original family members if they don't adhere 100% to everything that you believe that you are and should act as. And there doesn't seem to be much room for nuance about the fact that sometimes there is negotiation that needs to be made with your own family. Yes, that does not mean that you should stay in toxic relationships that are continually draining you and taking from you, but that doesn't mean that everything has to be your way of the highway. Like, it's quite literally an example of when adults say that teenagers think they know everything, but like queer people thinking that they know absolutely everything about every single relationship that needs to remain in their lives. It's just a bit happy to say everything's toxic and cut them off.
I completely agree. There's actually, someone in my life who's like that with her family, and I'm like, girl, you're being so extra. Like, nothing bad has literally ever happened to you in your life. You've never had to face actual adversity. I've known you my whole life. And it's like, you are so happy to just say that just to justify whatever you want to prove to yourself, that you're like lonely, or that you're whatever, that your family doesn't care for you, which is a complete lie. It's just, you're just happy to cut bitches off who aren't conforming to everything. I agree with you. There's nuance and there's negotiations to be made.
All right. Well, we're going to call it a day for the public feed right there. We're going to, Patreon, stick around. We're going to continue this after the closeout. Robert, why don't you give your socials and your OnlyFans?
Across the universe, you can find me at RAWB54. Should I ever decide to make an OnlyFans, you can probably find me there too. Except for not on the PlayStation Network, because some nasty faggot took my fucking handle.
All right, Christian?
You can find me on Instagram at Hella_Christian, and you can find me on TikTok at Hella Christian as well. Slide into my DMs, say hello. I appreciate the convo.
All right, very good. We'll see you guys next week.